Howdy gamers, Keith Hershey here. Yesterday, or actually, I should say, yeah, yesterday, finally got my DD RPG Kickstarter fulfillment. I haven't had a whole lot of time to unpack it, but that's what we're going to do now. Unboxed it from the original box. There's still some more stuff to open up, but we're going to go through the fulfillment for DDRPG, discuss it a little bit, and its secret meaning to me. All right. So, starting with this big hefty box, 11 pounds here, Dungeon Dwellers Collector's Box. Open this up. Yeah, I've been excitedly waiting for this to come in so many ways. Definitely a big fan of Reaper minis. They make some awesome minis. All right. So opening the box, on the very top, we have the Dungeon Dwellers dice bag. Pop that open. Oh, wow. Nice. Like leather bag. Cool. Opens up. Cool. And while I'm thinking about it, I track over to the dice that it came with. And they're cool green looking dice. And easy to read, which my old eyes are definitely happy about. We're going to go ahead and pop these open. Oh, that's cool. So you open up the packaging, and they're in a little plastic box as well. Well, we're going to pop it open because why have a dice bag if they're not going to be in the dice bag? So we're going to pop this open, and we're going to pop these dice into its proper bag. Actually, let's roll the d20, see what I get. What do you guys think I got? Got a 14. All right, put those in there. Yeah, we might keep that. That's kind of a nice little plastic dice box. That's cool. All right, next thing in the box, we have some of our tokens. These are the cardboard ones, but also in this box we have the actual metal ones. Go ahead and pop one of these open. Let's take a look at it a little bit more. Oh yeah, those came out really nice. Let's see here. Hold it with this hand here. Yeah, that's a little better. Getting the light to shine off of it a little bit. And it looks like we got what 3, 6, looks like 8 of them. And they got 8 of the cardboard ones. I think there was an option to get extra ones, and somehow I didn't get extra ones, but I'm sure they'll probably be having some more available for sale, so I'll definitely have to stock up on getting some more of those. All right. Next up, we've got the Hills Edge Province and the Western Barrow Hills. Oops. Let me hold that up proper so you guys can all see it. This is the campaign setting for Dungeon Dwellers. And I've already been seeing and hearing some good things. I've had the PDFs for a while, but I don't know about you folks, but if you're anything like me, I mean, I can read the PDFs, but to run a game, to me, I've got to have the books. Yep, gotta have those books in my neat little hands. That way I can refer back to pages and put my little post-it notes and make notes and whatnot. Kind of the layout there. Whoops. Let's see here. I do have some illustrations in there. And anyone that's, has some of the Reaper miniatures and whatnot, you're going to find some of the art reflects some of the miniatures of the minis line. Oh, yeah. Look at that guy. And there's many of him. Is it Troll Den Painting? I saw their video just last night, and he had just painted that many years past, and he was going through that book. We'll do some more in-depth reviews on that. Can't wait to really dive in. The setting looks very interesting. Lots of cool adventure hooks and whatnot. All right, next up, Denizens of the Dungeon. This is the monster book, or I should say one of the monster books. It's the only monster book currently out. I have talked with Joseph Wolf. He's one of my friends. He's ran some games for me in the past at North Texas RPG Con. I was in one of the initial playtests like 4 years ago, and then just recently. It was definitely awesome to see the differences over the years, and it was definitely a very fun system both times. But it was cool to see it, back in its infancy to, its finished product. So I got a chance to see the books down there at North Texas. They had the proofs there for us to check out, which was really cool. And they did a really good job. The layout and everything, really, really good. I'm definitely excited to run some of these. Oh yeah, here's another one. Some cool art. Cool. All right, let's move on to the next book. All right, next one here, the Game Master's Vaults. This one here is jam-packed with a lot of DM advice from Joseph Wolf. And the artwork on these books and these covers are just beautiful. Let's see here. Let me find a cool picture. Yeah, this one's kind of cool. Next book we have is the Player's Guide. Alright, let's crack it open. Let me look for some cool art to show off the artwork and the. Yeah, there we go. There's a cool one. Little sage or somebody researching some of the spells. Oh, and it's got the spell points. I must say their spell casting system that they developed, really good. They've gotten rid of the spell circles. It now is true to your spell level, your character level. And then you get spell points to further augment and enhance your spell, which is a really cool aspect. Another thing I really do like is their initiative system based on what type of weapon or what you're going to be doing that turn determines what type of dice you're rolling for that initiative. Could be anywhere from a D4 to a D12. Um, and I believe the D12 is your fastest and D4 is your slowest ones. So like if you're wielding a weapon two-handed, or if you got like a dagger, or you're wielding some like big old maul or something, and even your spell casting kind of all fits into there. So some really cool stuff there. All right. Next thing that was in the collector's box, and it's the last thing here, is the map for the campaign setting. See if I can pop this open here. It's double-sided. So this side of the map here, it's got the different kingdoms for the setting. And the other side here, we got Vestonia, Hills Edge Province, a more detailed map. All right. So that was it in the collector's box. Now for all the other goodies that I got. I also got the Adventure Compendium, Fortress of Peril. So in here, let's see here, 120 pages, old school adventure, a collection of 3 classic modules. I got the Fortress of Peril, A Ton of Trouble, and Crypt of the Sorcerer, which that one looks pretty cool. Alright, let's see. There we go. And I guess, yeah, somehow, I was anxious to get all the goodies as they were stacking up, and somehow ordered 2 of these. That's okay. I'm also pretty good at sharing my hobby with my friends, so we'll see. Alright. Well, I guess we'll start with the map here that comes with it. Fortress of Peril. Pretty cool looking map. I'm not going to hold it up too long. I don't want to spoil too much for everyone. And let's see. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's cool. So just picking up a random page and got a little Sturge there. Yep. I really like some of the artwork they have for the minis and whatnot that's in here. Like that Sturge there. The new Sturges from Reaper Minutes are pretty awesome. All right. Next up, let's see here. Okay. It looks like this is the DM screen, but on the top it says Horror on Howling Heath. Let's pop it open. It's been a while since the Kickstarter, so I don't rightly remember everything, but it could be that this DM screen came with an adventure, which it looks like it did. Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Cool. So it came with a little low-level adventure. Let's see here. How many pages is it? It looks like it's like about 10 pages or so. But cool little adventure. And then we got the DM screen. Pop this bad boy up. Oop. That's a pretty cool looking screen. Cool. Pretty awesome. Alright. Alright. Now we'll start getting into the other accessories. And then I got me a gray shirt. Let's see here. I don't know why I didn't get the hat. I saw that there was a hat available too. Cool looking art there on the shirt. That way I can represent. I also got a black one. That black shirt looks pretty awesome with that image on there. Okay. And then there was a little box, and it wasn't labeled. Later determined it was the collector's mini box. And then there were some loose minis in there. So I've kind of lost track which minis came in the loose box. I did leave the minis that came in the miniature set in here. We'll go over some of these here. Now this first one is just a plain baggie. And I think these are the scorpions. Little scorpions. And they have a little tail that you attach to it as well. I'll have to put those together later. You guys will see pictures. I'll be trying to paint up a bunch of these minis here soon. Just got done painting a bunch of the spiders from the last Kickstarter recently. So anyhow, I got a bunch of the scorpions. And I think those were the extras. I bought a bunch of extras. And then they have the fire beetles, and they kind of got the clear thing. So I'm kind of curious how to paint those up using that material, because I think that would look really cool. Maybe some of the translucent reds or something. And they got some cool little, regular bases on there, dungeon floor bases. Then this, I believe, is an ink hick. It's not, it doesn't have a label on it, but it looks like an ink hick. And then we've got extra centipedes. I love how they got all these cool monsters I haven't really seen 3D prints and whatnot for. And this one brings back memories because I think it's been 3 or 4 years now, maybe 5. I ran an adventure with a giant centipede. That was pretty awesome. And now I have some baby little centipedes. And then we got us, it looks like a lich. Let's see here. Trying to not get the reflection on there. Let's see here. Then we got a little boulet. Got to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Don't need Tim Cass' spirit coming after me if I call it a bullet. Boulet. And then we got this cool looking ogre lady. Oops. Let's see here. Then we've got some Pollen Adventurers. Yeah, I'll have to take some better pictures when I get them all out of the boxes. Then we have some extra ooze miniatures, different oozes of different sizes and whatnot in there, looks like. So that'll be cool. You know, and once again with that material, I'm excited to figure out how I want to paint those. Ticks. We gotta have ticks. Oh yeah, I saw those. I'm like, ooh yeah, giant ticks. Man, ugh, that's just creepy. And then some extra cultists. Can never have too many cultists. And these ones look really cool. Yeah, really cool. Lots of cool detail on those guys. Alright, so let me move these out of the way, and then we'll open up the box of the miniatures that came with the Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased that it was a long wait for this Kickstarter, but overall, I'm definitely super happy it's finally arrived. Everything looks awesome, and I can't wait to get all this stuff painted up, and at some point in the future, run some games of DDRPG. Alright, so in the box, we got us an Ogre Thumper, a Minotaur, let's see here, 2 monstrous centipedes. The extra came with 6. Oh, there's another Minotaur. Okay. So 2 Minotaurs. Lesser Basilis. Got some oozes, medium and small. Some fire beetles, couple fire beetles. Got Sir Rictus the Skeleton Knight. Oh man, this is a wicked looking harpy. Oh, I can't wait to get her painted up. It looks like she's sitting on a stump. Yeah, can't wait to get her painted. She looks pretty awesome. And then a Fimgrach. I think it's kind of like their version of a beholder. Then we got us a Wraith. Some armored goblins. Couple cultists. Colette, Mournful Spirit. And I believe there's like an art piece of her in one of the books. So once again, you're going to see artwork in the books that are artwork for the minis that they have as well, which is really cool. A couple hellhounds. Female hobgoblin warrior. Monstrous ticks, a couple more. Herrick Stronghammer, cleric. Mortroll. Trissa Cloverhill, rogue. Landerel Brighthelm, wizard. And in the base books right now, it's just the 4 core classes: fighter, mage, cleric, and rogue. There we go. Armored skeletons. I know Joseph's hard at work on other books, more monster books in some more classes and whatnot. So, and then we got us a charnel grub, aka a oh my carrion crawler. It's like, man, don't mess that up, Keith. And then Rowan Thistlemore fighter. All those came in the box set of minis. So put some of these up while we're talking. So that's all the stuff that came into the in the Kickstarter that I got, which there's plenty here. Can't wait to start painting a bunch of these guys. But anyhow, back to Dungeon Dwellers, Reaper, kind of some special meanings for me. So I first started playing, my dad taught me how to play Dungeons and Dragons when we were stationed in Erlangen, Germany, back in 1982. And it was the basic set. And, we went to a toy store in Nuremberg, Germany. And that's where my dad was able to pick up some miniatures. Plastic miniatures. And I've been looking and looking and looking, and I haven't, found any of them that, I'm sure that people have them, but I haven't seen them. I always hear about the Heritage USA minis that were made in metal. But they did make some plastic ones back in the day, but they're very, very hard to find. Well, probably due to the expenses of shipping or something, I don't know. But back then, my dad had bought the paint and play sets, and then also there was boxes of plastic miniatures that he painted up. And I have a few of them still to this day, thank goodness. Because unfortunately, when we moved from Erlangen to stateside, my grandmother had some emergencies, and we had to get out on hardship. We had to move in a hurry. And unfortunately, about 3/4 of all of our belongings that we used to have in Germany went missing, never to be found. A lot of our minis, a lot of the original books and stuff went missing. But luckily, I have a small handful of the original plastic miniatures that my dad played with us with. Here's the big bad demon guy. Got this little monk. One of the fighters with the two-handed sword. His sword broke off, unfortunately. Actually, there was two of them. One red, one blue. The detail on these plastic miniatures aren't the greatest. But that's what we had back in the day. We had a little elven archer. Another mini with his sword broke off, and shield. Old bugbear. He used to have an axe, but that was the bugbear back then. So, some of these, it's kind of funny looking at them now because there's not much detail compared to minis. There's a hellhound. Here's a troll that used to have a hammer. Hammer kind of broke off. I don't know what happened. We used to have an ogre. I still have a couple orc archers that were part of the set. But he used to have gobs and gobs of these minis. Another hellhound. The succubus. And then I have a few minis from some of the old play sets that TSR put out back in the day. There was one that had a bunch of dwarves in it, and his arms have popped off. They used to have spears and shields and hammers and stuff. Here's one with a shield and a hammer that broke off back in the day. There was a shrieker in one. Used to be a carrion crawler in another. But that, so, back in the day, I didn't have access to the metal minis. There were plastic minis back in the day. So, and then for terrain, we didn't actually have terrain, but, and these I had, oops, some of those are falling out. Back then, we didn't have 3D terrain, but my dad had bought a box of these dungeon floors by Heritage USA. And, they're little cardboard sheets that you would cut out, and you'd put dungeon tiles out and, use a negative space as you advance, through the dungeon. You build out the little floors and whatnot, and then we have the little plastic minis. And it was awesome. We had so much fun with them. But our original one of these was lost in the move. But I was able to find on eBay. There was a couple boxes, so I snagged those. So those of you who don't know, Heritage USA, and it's explained in the Player's Handbook, they start running into difficulties back in 82, about the time when I was starting to learn the game. And then eventually, Reaper bought that line of Dungeon Dwellers from Heritage USA. So it's kind of cool, where I started with Heritage USA, some of the minis, some of the floor terrain and whatnot. And after all these years, they finally have their own RPG system. I'm seeing a lot of the minis have been, redone. They've got some really cool art. Yeah, so I'm just super excited that they have their own system. I'm seeing this, system that, some of the stuff that I started on way back when is coming back around to fruition after so many years, and I get to share and teach more folks how to be how to play and whatnot. I run games. I try to run games weekly down at Hobbytown here in Alamosa, Colorado, and throughout the valley. I've done some, but right now it's just been once a week. I've been run games down there, and during the summer, me and my buddy Yale started up our own local convention. We've successfully ran it for 2 years straight now. Next year will be our 3rd year. Definitely plan on trying to bust this out and let people experience it during this next convention. I was so hoping it would have been ready to run this at our convention, but that was that was a month ago already. So anyhow, next year we'll have to run it. So there's my little secret meaning, of Heritage USA coming back around. Reaper bought it up. They've done the line justice, and I'm super excited to see where Joseph Wolf and the team take it to. Anyhow, I'm going to close for now, and happy gaming, and we'll talk to y'all later. Take care.